G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we're going to learn how to make a pair of slippers. This is going to be a series of videos as there are 6 different sizes and I've broken them up into 6 different tutorials. All the links will be below in the description box for the different sizes. As you can see from this photo, there are different widths. A slipper is very easy to adjust the length, so as long as you have the width right, you can make the length the size that you desire. If you are using sports weight, 8 ply or double knit yarn, I suggest that you use the next size up in the videos. In today's video we'll be using Red Heart Super Saver in the colour Pretty in Pink. And you will need approximately 2.4 ounces or 70 grams of yarn. For our supplies we will need a yarn needle with a large eye. We will also need a pair of scissors. These scissors are available on my website. I'll leave the link below in the description box so you can go and check them out. You will also need a crochet hook that is smaller than what is recommended for your yarn. The worsted weight yarn recommends a 5.5 or an I size hook, and this is a 4.5, which is equivalent to about a G size, as I don't think the US have a 4.5mm crochet hook. So as long as you've got firm tension, that will be perfectly okay. I'm going to start with a magic ring. There are plenty of different ways to make them. The way I do it is just wrap it around my fingers and grab the yarn, pull through, and we're going to chain 3. So that's 1, 2 and 3. What we need to do is work 2 double crochets into the center. So working into the center of the ring, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, and altogether we need 5 lots of 3 stitches. So we've got the chain, which counts as our first double crochet, that's 1 set of 3. It's 2, so chain 1, 3 more double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and altogether we need 5, so 3 more double crochets into the center, and a chain 1. So pull that to tighten that up a bit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to join to the top of the chain 3. So that's the 3rd chain from the beginning, chain 3, and we're going to join with a slip stitch. To start up our next rows or rounds on any of this project, what we need to do is slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. And chain 3, work 2 double crochets back into that same chain 1 space. Chain 1. 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space, and this row is our increase row. And into each chain 1 space around we're going to work an increase, so that's 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets all into that same chain 1 space. We want to repeat this around until we get back to the beginning. When we get back to the beginning, we're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. So the next round, we need to slip stitch across to the next space. We're going to chain up 3. And there's no more increasing anymore, so we're working 2 double crochets into the same space. And into each space around, we're going to work 3 double crochets. So continue around and I'll get up to you when we get back to the beginning. Working 3 double crochets into each space around. When we get to the end, we're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. And it will gradually start to form the toe section of the slipper. So we can fold that way. Again, we want to slip stitch across, and we're repeating the row that we just did. So slip stitch across to the space, chain 3, and 2 double crochets into the space. And then 3 double crochets in every space around. We're going to continue doing that, repeating that round until we have, from the beginning, 10 rounds altogether. So this is 1, 2, 3. We've just done our 4th one. Going to keep going until we have 10 altogether. Or you can make as many rounds as you like. You could make it shorter, and you can also make it longer by adding the amount of rounds that you want. So I'll meet up to you when we have 10 or the amount of rows that you want completed. Once we have the amount of rounds that we need, now we're going to start the sides of the slipper. What we need to do is slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. And also into the space. Need to chain up 3, 2 double crochets into the same space. What we're going to do is we're going to work around into each space, working the 3 double crochets as normal, but we're going to stop and we're going to leave the last 2 spaces vacant. So we want to stop on the 3rd hole from the end. So here's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. We're going to stop here. So work your way around and I will meet up to you when we're the 3rd hole, or 3rd space from the end. So I've stopped and I have 2 vacant spaces at the end, and I've worked into that one there. So now what we do is working on the side. So we're going to chain up 3. We're going to turn our work. Into the next space we're going to work 3 double crochets. Into each space across this row we're going to work 3 double crochets. When we get to the end of the row, we want to imitate what we did at the beginning. So go back to the beginning and we've got 1 stitch and then a space, and then 3 double crochets. So we want to make that look the same at the beginning. So we've got 3 double crochets, we need a space, and then 1 stitch by itself. So what we need to do is double crochet into the last stitch. There we go. Just want to chain up 3. What we want to do is alternate between a group of 3 double crochets, 1 stitch by itself, and the next one will be 3 double crochets because we're alternating between these two. So you want 3 double crochets, 1, and then 3. So we need to go into that space for 2 double crochets because the chain 3 counts as our first stitch. See how it alternates? We've got 3, 1, 3. Into each space across, we're going to work 3 double crochets. I'm up to the end of the row, and like I said, we have to imitate what we had at the beginning. We've got 3 stitches, so we want to put 3 in the end. So into that space, work 3 double crochets. And we want to repeat those 2 rows, so the next row will be a chain 3 because we want to alternate between 3, 1, 3, so the next one is 1. We want to alternate between those 2 rows until you have the length that you need. So it's working into this space for 3 double crochets. On my first slipper I made 9 rows. And that fits an Australian ladies 9, is a UK 7, and it's also I think a US ladies 10, and this is a broader fitting. So if that's the sort of size you're after, that will be your 13 rows. Of course you can keep adding rows until you have the measurement that you need. So continue on with that, and I'll meet up to you when we're ready to join the back and put the edging around the inside of the slipper. Once we have the amount of rows that we need, so what we need to do now if you've finished on the 3 double crochets, you are in the correct position to go around the opening of the slipper. If you finished on the chain 3 or double crochet into the last stitch I should say, you're going to be over this side. What you need to do is slip stitch across to here, and then you're in the correct position to work around the opening. So we're going to single crochet around. We're just going to work our way around excuse me, with a single crochet, trying to go under 2 loops when we can. I'm sorry if the lighting is a little bit darker in this part of the video. It started to rain outside and it's really black, but I'm nearly finished the slipper. But it's still enough light for you to see what's happening. So we're just working around the outside of the slipper and continue around until we get to the other end, or until you get back to the join. Once we get back to here, we're going to join to the first single crochet with a slip stitch. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet into each stitch around. And I'll meet up with you when we're back to the beginning. We're going to slip stitch to the first chain, sorry, the first single crochet, and then we're going to cut our yarn, but we need to cut about 6 inches, which is about 15 centimeters, because we want to sew up the back seam of our slipper. So I'm going to pull that yarn out. I'm going to turn it inside out. And because our yarn's coming out of here, but we want it to be over there, I'm just going to thread it through under some stitches. So, laying your slipper flat, making sure it's even. We can sew this up. So I'm just going through both loops on both sides. Pull snug but don't pull tight. Continue across until you get to the end. On your last stitch, before you pull snug, go through that loop with your yarn. Make sure it's not all bunched up. You want it to be nice and even. Then we're going to sew back down with our yarn to hide our tails. And because it's only a short distance, I'm going to just thread it back through. Going to cut off my yarn. And then we need to sew in the ends here. And as you can see, it's worked its way a little bit loose again, so we just need to pull that tight. And then sew in our ends. After you've gone through a couple of stitches, I like to just, so it's coming out of here, I like to go back a couple. You don't want that loop to close up. Put your needle through the loop, pull tight, and then sew back through. And that will secure that in, and the magic circle will not come undone. Cutting off your tail. And we're finished. Turn it back the right way. Here's the other one that I did first for the pattern test. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. These will make excellent gifts for anybody. You can change the colour depending on who you're going to give it to. You could use rainbow colours. I think that will look really great too. Please share your creations on our Facebook page. We'd love to see everybody's ideas and colours and projects that they're working on over there. Please subscribe, as there will be plenty more videos to come. I do upload once a week, so you'll have plenty of items to make. Check out my website, all the links are below. There's lots of great free patterns on there. There's also the free pattern for this slipper. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy crochet.